Hi guys, it's Jake here, and today I've got the Sanrenmu 7010. Yes, I did do a sort of review of this knife when I first started this channel, and I talked about how it had become iconic, just like the Buck 110 changed folding knives with the back lock that just rocked. And, the whole folding knife market with locking blades just took off after that. I think the Sanrenmu 7010 is similar in that it's rocking the world of low-priced, good quality, solid folders. I have not yet done a really in-depth review of this knife, the 7010, so stick around. I have three different models of it with me today. And we'll take a good look at this and see how well they work and see, more of the details about them. So stick around. So what you see in front of you is three of the different 7010s. This one being the iconic 7010. This is the one that most people think of when they say Sanrenmu 7010. And, this style of scale, well, not scale, frame, sort of a scale, frame scale, that has this sort of textured little decorative area inside here, and the rest is all just satin steel. This is the 7010 LUC-SA. And right now it's $7.04 US at GearBest. $7.04, guys. You can buy 3 of these for the price of 2 from Amazon. Of these. These other ones are $7.58. GearBest has 5 different styles. $7.02, $7.58 for the other styles. And this one is, the big pricey one right now, coming in at $11.08. And I got this one. This is my most recent 7010 purchase. I got it when it was $8. So let's talk about the details. What do we have here? We've got a knife that has a blade made out of its 8CR13 MOV. On one of Sanrenmu's pages, I think it's of this knife, it says it's 8CR14. GearBest sometimes makes mistakes in some of the descriptions. I think it's very likely all of the blades on all the different styles are 8CR13 MOV. They've done a good job with the heat treat. They've learned how to do that, especially when Spyderco was being very particular with their heat treatments. So they know how to make good knives. These are the specs. What we have is a blade. The blade stock is 2.5 millimeters thick at its thickest point. That's 0.1 inches. Smaller than 1/8 of an inch, of course. The cutting edge is 6.7 centimeters. That's from the end of the sharpener's choil to the tip of the blade. 6.7 centimeters, that's just over 2.5 inches, 2.6 inches, I think it is. The handle is 9.5 centimeters, which is right around 3 3/4 inches. And this distance on the knife, the greatest distance is right here at about 2.5 centimeters, which is just under 1 inch. And so it's smaller than that for the rest of the handle, and then, still smaller than 1 inch right at the back here. The thickness of the handle right here, okay, 1/3 of an inch, 0.33 something of an inch, which is not even a centimeter, 8.6 millimeters, which is 0.8 of a centimeter. It's, it's a nice thin knife. The weight is right at 90 grams, 3.2 ounces. So it's a decent small knife. If you live in a jurisdiction where you are restricted to 3-inch blades and you're allowed to have locks, this is a knife that I think you should own. I generally don't tell people what to buy. I generally just, I say, I recommend this knife. I more than recommend these knives. I suggest that people buy these knives. The price is just very good, and you will find the quality to be outstanding, and it's strong enough to become your beater knife. It will look a whole lot better than a beater knife, but it certainly qualifies in its strength, its quality of how well it cuts, this hollow grind and this nice narrow edge. I've owned 6 of these. They all cut flawlessly straight out of the package. Just great. What do we have for the blade style? We've got sort of a drop point that turns into a clip point on this hollow grind, a nice big belly, a short flat area, some nice jimping on the thumb rise there, and that's the only jimping on the whole knife. You've got a pair of thumb studs that work, right or left. And even though, this pocket clips on this side, it's easy enough to actuate it with your left thumb. And that's partly because the washers in here, the whole makeup of the pivot is just flawless. It's got nylon washers, but it's got a very thin bronze washer in there as well. I haven't taken one of these apart lately. I can't remember if it's on both sides or not. Regardless of how they do it, the action is just, you can just flick these things out with your thumb, and you can just hear how hard that flicks out. And it's because the action is just perfect. And I've done nothing to these. This is one of the few knives I've not lubed or anything. I haven't had any lube to the pivot. It just comes perfect out of the factory. Mind you, one of them that I had was quite a ways off when you would talk about blade centering. The blade centering on this one's not perfect, but it's quite good. This one's, just perfect. It's flawless, the blade centering. And this one, again, the blade centering's off just a little bit to this side. It's far away from, there you can see the light through there. It's far away from, touching the sides at all. It's just not perfect. Very good for a, $7, $8 knife. I really like this black wash version. They've got another black version that looks more like it has a coating on it instead of, this black wash. Black wash just turns my crank as far as knives go. And this one I took the thumb clip off of because I've turned to this one to be my carry knife, at least as my carry knife in my custom-made pouch that I had a friend of mine make for me. And I have 2 knives in here. I've got an Enland EL01 with the wooden scales, rosewood, and then my Sanrenmu sits this way, that orientation, in this pouch. And this is what I carry when I go, to the mountains, outdoor, or to the woods, whatever, when I'm going out doing stuff. This is a really nice custom-made pouch that I have. And I'll just leave that knife in there for now. Oh, did I talk about the overall length of this knife? The overall length, yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Total length is 16.5 centimeters, which is 6.5 inches. And it fits in my hand really well. I've got a large size hand, and I get a whole 4-finger grip on it, and my thumb, gets a lot of good purchase. You can hold it way back here, and then my pinky doesn't quite get a grip, and cut like that. Or I can squeeze up and get a full grip on it with all my 4 fingers, and that works really well. It's easy to put a lanyard on here. 550 paracord fits in there, no problem at all. I don't think you'll be able to get 1100 paracord through there, but 1100 paracord, not very many of you guys probably have that. The fit and finish on this knife is just wonderful. Like, all of these screws are flathead screws. Flathead not meaning a screw with a slot in it. Flathead means a screw that the head of the screw is flat with the surface that it's going into. Sorry if I'm getting too technical. I grew up getting involved in woodworking. I did that in school, and that's a significant difference in terminology. A flathead screw is a screw that, when it's in place, it's flat to the surface of whatever it's going into. A slot screw, or more properly known as a standard screw, is a screw that has a slot in it. It's one of the oldest types of screws. That's why it's called the standard. The screws on this knife are all Torx, and hopefully you've got a nice set of Torx screws. Oh, if you wanted to know what this one is, this is the 710 LUC-SD. I'm going to insert pictures of all 5 of them with their proper label from GearBest right here. And if you look into the description below the video, you'll find links to all of those knives. So if you're interested in buying one of them, please do. I get a small commission from GearBest for every knife that gets sold if you use my links. You get the same price that everybody else gets, but I get a little bit of a help out for my channel so I can afford more knives. So, I thank you for using my links. If you're ever interested in a specific knife, especially if it's more of a higher priced one, and I don't have a link for it, just fire me an email at canadiancuttingedge@gmail.com, and I'll get you one of my links so that you can support me. That is if you want to. And I can get you a link to any product on GearBest so that I'd get a tiny commission off of it. Every little bit helps. I haven't talked about this pocket clip yet. I don't prefer that it's only in one place. This knife with these flat scales the way they are, they could have made it a 4-way pocket clip, no problem at all. It would have been easy for them to do. And it's too bad that they have just, the tip down orientation, because a lot of people don't like tip down. I don't mind it, but a lot of people want tip up. So that's too bad. Texture-wise, how does these knives feel in the hand as far as grippiness goes and good purchase? Well, the one I like the best is this one. It's almost like the dark gray section in here has been etched out, and it's just slightly rough, and it just provides enough texture on both sides, especially with my fingertips along this face, to provide extra purchase, extra grippiness, so that when I go to use it, this one is the best. But that being said, this version is not far behind, because your fingertips, slide into that section there too, and it adds a good amount of purchase. And even the black one, I take it out again, which is, smooth everywhere. There's no texture on the sides at all. Now, I get enough purchase with this one to like it enough that I put it in my, carry whenever I carry this knife. It's supposed to be a panther running to this side, coming across this way, into some flames that are blowing across that way. It's a pretty cool graphic, if you ask me. This liner lock on this knife, frame lock, I should say, is very good. Most of them come at right around 50% lockup right there. You can see on these two. This one, the lockup is a little bit more, closer to like 70%. And they've all had reasonable lockup from the ones I've purchased, which I appreciate a lot. And the locks are rock solid. Cover your ears or take your headphones off or turn your volume down, because I'm going to do a spine whack test. Good thing I hold it the way I'm doing. Keep your ears covered. Are you still covering your ears? See, no problem at all. And it just cuts. No problem at all. Whatever kind of grip I want to do on it. Even if I cut, see sideways like that, a long ways, cutting through more material. See, look at all that. It's got a load of steel in there, and then some more sheathing, some fiber like a paracord has, and then the wires themselves. It's a lot to go through to cut, and it cuts that kind of stuff really well. Here's some 1-inch banding, and just zips through that, no problem at all. I very highly recommend this knife. It's a great size. It's a very discreet carry, especially if you take the pocket clip off. You can drop it into the bottom of your pocket. The only negative that I wish they would change is, I hadn't mentioned it yet, sorry about that, I should have mentioned it earlier, is these thumb studs. Let's get a little closer view. You can see how the thumb studs stick out. I'm trying to get it right in the middle of the picture here. Stick out past the scales by a fair ways. And sometimes what happens when you're putting your pants on, I'll show it with this fabric right here. As your pants are as it's coming into, not as you put your pants on, as you put the knife in your pocket, the fabric will, come under the clip and start to come up, and then it will catch right there on that thumb stud before you get it all the way up to there, so that it's, a nice deep carry. It's not it's not an ultra deep carry, of course. So what do you think of this knife? Do you own one? How many of you guys own one of these knives? I'm really curious. And how long ago did you buy them? It's a knife that I think is an icon. I think you would do well if you had one. And my review has gone way too long. I've already recorded 20 minutes of stuff. I'm gonna have to edit this way down. Sorry about that, guys. I like to do in-depth reviews, but babbling on just doesn't do you or myself any good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please click on like. If you know somebody who's interested in this knife, you can click on share and share this video with your friends. If you've not yet subscribed to my channel, I'd like to get you to subscribe. I'd appreciate that a lot. And your comments and any points where you think I'm wrong and you want to debate it, or you just want to say hi, go into the comment section. I really appreciate it. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye now.